Joining me now to talk more about the earthquake and the damage is Mete Sozen. He's a structural engineering professor at Purdue University in Indiana, here in the United States. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Good afternoon.
When we look at the casualty rate in this earthquake, it's pretty high, but it is not near as high as the quake which hit the region in 2008. To what do you attribute this?
Well, you see, this, according to USGS, is a 6.6 magnitude earthquake. But according to local seismological station, it's a 7. So it's a very highly demanding earthquake. There have been earthquakes in which, when the magnitude was about the same, and 30,000 people died. But of course, this is not simply a factor of one number. It also depends on the population in the area. It depends on the depth of the earthquake, although this one was a rather shallow earthquake, rather dangerous earthquake. And I tend to attribute it to an improvement in the quality of the construction and of the infrastructure, and also to the fact that maybe there haven't been so many people influenced by the ground motion in this case.
You know, you talk about construction. In the last earthquake, the one that I referred to in 2008, there was a great deal of anger at the time over what was seen as the shoddy quality of buildings in the area, especially schools, which accounted for the very high number of school children who were killed in that last earthquake. So are you saying now that that has changed significantly?
Well, I'm hoping that it has changed, and the reason for the smallness of the damage is due to the fact that some good buildings were built since then, at least in the Beijing area.
And would it also be fair to say that there is better communications now? It is a remote rural area, but despite the fact that rocks blocked many of the roads this time round, relief teams were able to get through.
Yes, and that's what I hear from various sources, that the rescue effort has been almost spotless. Very well done.
And what do we know about this particular region of China that makes it so prone to these kinds of earthquakes?
Well, it happens to be between the Indian and the Eurasian plate, and the ground moves about 50 millimeters every year. So there is a series of earthquakes. In this region, in the last 40 years, there have been 4 major earthquakes, including the one in 2008. So I think China has to be prepared. And China does have the building code that will minimize damage from such events. So they should enforce it as quickly as possible.
And here's something else, and I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to answer this for us, but let me ask it to you anyway. There have been something like 4 or 5 earthquakes just this week alone. I mean, we had a very small earthquake in Missouri here in the United States. There was one in Papua New Guinea. There was a pretty big one which straddled the border of Iran and Pakistan, and then there was another one in Myanmar as well. Is that usual?
Are they related to one another, you mean?
Yes.
I don't think so, but hey, it could be, because our knowledge about earthquakes is still superficial.
Right, so we don't know whether these are very, I mean, whether it could be, it's not the same fault line, that we do know.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay, sir, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.